the Say It Loud podcast. This is your host, Matt Jones. Today we were blessed to have our new best friend, Sydney Wright, on the show. She's super talented, artistic, very expressive, pretty awesome performer in Austin. You've probably seen her either doing a solo act or she plays with a band. This was a fun podcast. I would say it's very weird. We did some weird topics, but it was really funny. We went long. That's how much fun we had. We enjoyed hearing about her new music video and single, the meaning behind that. You Can Stay. We got into some of our MVP Halloween costume ideas. It is October, after all. We played a new game called The Game Name, TM. You'll learn about it. Stick around for it. It's really fun. And Sydney was a great guest. Check her out at sydneywrightmusic.com. Because you know, if being Sydney is wrong, she's got to be right. that is good. Let's do this.
I'm ready now.
Wine. Do you have backup wine, by the way?
I'm just going to pass it over.
Okay.
I think we can do like a
There's
little...
some
Gotcha.
down there, too.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think we're set.
We are set.
Excellent. Hello.
Hello.
Bear City Fire. Say It Loud podcast. Coming to an ear hole near you. Right now. Episode 22 or 3.
Or 4.
I know. I always
So
get to look
official.
it up right before. Yeah. But it's somewhere in that neighborhood. But Sydney Wright is here today. And Sydney is awesome. You probably saw her with Bear City Fire at Stubbs. What was it? A couple weeks back, right?
Was that a week? 2 weeks ago?
I don't remember.
With the Edison
The
Chair
7th.
and
Yes, the
Nomad
7th.
City
Thursday.
show.
The 7th.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
That was cool. That was definitely my first exposure to you. And by the way, we have Joe here,
Hey.
Brian and Brett.
Yo,
Clint is back. God, Clint hates us so much.
Clint hates us.
Yeah. It was definitely a cool show. I mean, I didn't know what to expect. For whatever reason, I hadn't seen you before. But Brian was singing your praises before he got there. Like, literally, he was like, "She is praised."
Oh my goodness.
But no, it was good. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but
I can't do it now, but at the time I was doing it. Yeah.
but I believe
So
him.
much
You
of
know,
the film
he's got a
did
good ear, and I was pretty psyched. But I definitely enjoyed your show.
Right on. It was super fun because I just stuttered. It was super fun because it was my first Stubbs show, so that was like...
Oh.
Hell yeah.
Woo!
Mhm.
I was high. It was cool.
Yeah, were you? Do you get high before shows?
No.
Oh, it was a high.
It was a high, yes.
Yeah.
No, but I can't.
Yeah.
I can't do that because then I'll just like...
You have too many
No.
things to keep
Yeah,
track
you got
of.
a lot of things.
Exactly.
A lot of
There are a
moving
lot of
pieces.
things. And like making sure that I dance correctly so that the band stays together is important.
Oh, so
Or
you're
dance on beat.
so
is
you're a
important.
functional dancer, kind of.
Kind of.
Is that
I
what you're
feel
saying?
like it promotes solidarity of everyone being on, like in the pocket.
Mm-hmm.
Solidarity and everyone being. In the
So does it mean like
Oh, wow.
do you have a regular routine for each song, or do you know where just the beats
Oh,
are
no,
in every
no,
song?
no.
Yeah, so you know where to like to hit it.
Oh,
in that
what do you
song?
mean? The beat.
I mean,
when
is
I'm-
it a choreographed song dance during the song, or is it like?
Definitely not.
Oh,
But
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
really
Yeah.
glad that you thought that it could have been. No, I just do whatever it feels good.
I get that as far as like dancing and stuff, because sometimes when like
You do, Joe?
well, like not like watching Brett. I think watching Brett and people like move around and stuff, and I mean we're always usually stomping if there's a
Yeah.
stomp or something. Like,
I'm
on
a
beat.
pacer. I
Something's
like
up.
to walk in a circle.
and it's
to my
usually on
left.
tempo. Like
Just
Me too. And like my guitar cable will
Yep.
always be like
It's
a
always
huge knot after,
like
especially in
2
the
songs,
studio.
and you're like fucking trying to. You're like whatever.
I'm with you.
Whatever. This is a mess. It's fine.
Yeah, the chord
Yeah.
monster came out again, once again.
Don't y'all love when you're like unwrapping your cables at a gig and like one of the real super long ones is just totally screwed up. Like you,
Yeah.
it got biffed, and then the only person you have to blame is yourself because you rolled that cable.
Well, Brett and I like to blame a mythical character
Creature
named
of sorts.
the Chord Monster.
He's a chord monster.
Oh,
It
that's
visits
what
your
that was.
bag
Goes
at
through,
night
yeah.
and just like is just laughing the whole time, just tying up all your
Just
chords.
threading the
'Cause-
ends through themselves.
Oh yeah.
It could never possibly be our fault, is what we're trying to say.
What do you-
It's
what
like,
is-
there's a
not.
monster that comes.
Is it really
late at
just
night.
like finishing a gig and just being like, all right, I just want to get out of here. I'm just
No,
gonna
man, I take the time.
Really?
I know
really?
Ryan does too.
Yeah.
I take the time to actually unwind, like uncoil the mess, and
Oh,
then
yeah.
properly rolled up. But you're putting it in a bag with, a shitload of other cables. By the time you play next, you go in to get it. You pull one out. You're like, oh, I just need this one. Only need this one of 7, and you pull it out, and it pulls everything
14 are
else out.
entangled.
Yeah, it's just like fuck.
I noticed it's a little
remember
different, when we have time to, like, if we played, like, if you and I played an acoustic, like, 3-hour set, and it's pretty laid back, like, that's different than, like, okay, you have 10 minutes to change over to the next band, so, like,
True.
get your shit off the stage, so it's, I notice a very big difference in how I take care of my chords in those situations, for sure.
Every once in a
deserve
while,
this.
I'll have, because I won't use them all at every gig, I'll have, like, that mess of cables because I pulled enough out. And then you just sit there and redo it I do when I'm sitting at home because it's gross and I'm terribly OCD. It's
Yeah.
I
an
get that.
affliction almost.
Yeah,
Totally get
I feel that way about my cables. I don't know why. It was actually a drummer that taught me in San Antonio. It's actually full circle. Justin's drummer that he plays with in San Antonio with the little three-peat. I don't know if you know much about what he does outside of your band. Your bass player, Justin?
I don't because I'm an asshole.
But
tell me.
He plays with a it's a 3-piece band out of San Antonio. I forget drawing a blank of the name of the project. It's a guy's name.
I think he's talked about it before, and it's like super funky.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Well, that dude, your bass player is insane.
I am so
Insane.
musically in love with him. I can't. I don't know how to express it with words. So
I
go ahead.
haven't been intimidated in a while by like walking into a room and seeing bass players, like just because Brian and we play so much that I just feel very comfortable as a player. But when I walked into that Stubbs show and I saw that Justin was on stage, I got real nervous. I was like, God, this guy is hands down one of the best bass players I've ever seen. Like, and I've seen a lot of great, like high level musicians, ACL or whatever you want. And he compares easily. Yeah.
Dude, and I didn't even know him before. Like the drummer, Fred, put everybody together pretty much for me.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't, like he's a great friend.
Mike Gomez is the name of the drummer from San Antonio that taught me how to wrap my cables like
over under
like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
It was crazy. But I hadn't seen Justin until that show. It was almost about 10 years ago.
Because he sold you your
Really?
bass that you're playing with.
Yeah,
now,
he
right?
sold me my
I
amp
remember
that I
that
have that I play out of. I bought the bass separately, and then I knew him. He was in a band called Star Child. You know Henry and the Invisibles?
Yes. Okay, now I remember the full story.
Henry was the lead singer of Star Child.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyways, it was crazy. It was like a full circle of 10 years. When I walked in, it was such a completion. Because when I bought that amp off of him, I couldn't play a single note. Like
Oh my gosh.
I literally
Oh my God.
was, some guy suckered me into, he's like, but you should play bass in my band. I was like, I've never played bass ever. And he just kept poking at me for a long time until I was just like, okay, fine. And I went out and bought all that stuff. And I've been watching Justin's band for a long time. I was like, this guy is the greatest thing I've ever seen. And so I started talking to him after sets and stuff. And I told him that I was looking for an amp. And he's like, oh, I got a spare one I'm trying to get rid of.
That'll
I
do
haven't
the job.
upgraded since because I don't need to. Like,
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really cool. I'm sorry to go on about it. It was just one of those moments when I walked in, because when I first met him, he gave me like 3 lessons.
Oh my
and
gosh.
I couldn't play for shit. And then I didn't see him for 10 years, and I felt pretty, it was like confident playing in front of him. But even though I was super intimidated by that guy's ability to play.
Is that your typical band that you have?
I typically don't have a band. I usually play with a looper.
Okay.
But I feel like, you know how everybody's like, well, don't play all the time because you have to space out your shows so you'll get everybody out, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Obviously works and makes sense. So I use the full band shows as that, but I play all the time by myself. I have like 2 residencies every other week, and it's super fun.
Nice. Where are those?
Collide on the east side, both are on the east side. Collide 2 to 5 every other Sunday. Rhino Room 9 to midnight every other Wednesday.
Nice. Okay, cool.
It's awesome.
Let everybody know. Yeah, plug it in.
Yeah. But yeah, when I get to play with the dudes, it's like, obviously it makes me very happy.
Yeah.
I like get elated every time.
Where'd you find the guitar player?
Oh, have you ever heard anybody play guitar like that?
And his style's pretty interesting too.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
Jacob Hildebrand. We call him Hildy Pants or BF. The whole band, we call each other BF because we're best friends, obviously. Anyway, actually the drummer and him are best friends, and they started that. And so his name's Jacob Hildebrand. I'm sorry, tangent. And
BF.
he is one of the best people I know, and also one of the best guitar players I've ever met
Nice.
or seen.
What was Brett? I don't know. I didn't catch.
Where'd I find him? Oh,
I was
Fred.
just curious where, how you
Fred,
came across everybody.
I met everybody through Fred, and I met Fred through my first roommate, Jessie Treacy, of the band The Please Please Me. She lives in New York now, her home, but anyway. It's just a bunch of connections, it's just get out and
all it is. I
connect the
feel like
dots.
it's just like a web of people that you kind of know, you've met, or someone else knows.
I ran sound for Dre because she was at the show that night. That was
Yeah, totally.
I ran sound for them at Geraldine's like a few months ago, and we didn't really know each other, so it was kind of like,
Wow.
isn't that weird? I hardly ever work there, and I meet everybody there. Anyway, oh my gosh,
Dre
I
at
lost my
the
train of thought.
Geraldine's
And I
and
finally
sound.
got to talk to Dre
Nice.
and become best friends with her. That's wishful thinking. I hope so. I hope
Dude, we
she
all wanna
hears
be
this
best friends with Dre,
and-
yeah.
Same.
Dre's awesome.
She's
Her
great.
picture's
She's great.
probably
No
up here
doubt.
on the wall.
She's
Oh, it's
somewhere.
all over
so
here. Yeah.
pretty. She should be in a magazine.
She's super cool. Like beyond cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So cool.
Do
What
you-
up, Dre?
Yeah.
Oh.
So what I'm curious, and we can explore this because I think it's different. I have like so many questions about this, but the idea of you definitely loop, and I don't know if that's like your first kind of, is that just your way of like I'm home, I want to make a song, I'm going to build this, but you actually like
Oh,
turn
it
these
has-
into real songs, and then the idea of like being with the band too, and you said you really like being with them, so I'm kind of wondering like, is it just your feel, how you're feeling at the time, or is it just the availability? Like how do you decide what avenue you want to take?
How did I decide that? Okay, well, in the beginning, buying and learning to use the looper was kind of an exit out of being in a band at one point, because I don't work very well with others. I found over the years I'm good at collaborating, as long as it's like, I don't know, I do work well with others, but I also like to be in charge.
Right.
I'm a
okay.
Capricorn, and it's like just my thing.
Yeah.
And so that band didn't work for me, and so I started using the looper as a way to still play shows and still sing my songs and also be the band. Such a dumb story, but
No.
then I moved to Austin. That was in Denton. I moved to Austin
Nice.
and started looking around for a band. Happened upon these amazing musicians. I'm the luckiest person in the world. But I'm still love doing the looper because I don't have to pay anybody, and
Oh yeah.
and it's good. It's great practice. These 3-hour residencies I'm doing are just like such good practice.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Really hone in.
And I
some
get to do
things.
like dumb stuff. Like what do I cover? I cover like Chronic, and then I cover the 1989 Ryan Adams cover of Shake It Off. So like I'm covering the cover of the cover.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And Despacito.
Oh.
They like that
I
one.
bet they do.
Nice.
They get up for that one, don't they?
Yeah, I need to learn a Selena song so I
you
can
mean
be
you
legit.
loop
Oh,
those
yeah.
covers basically? Or-
Yeah.
'Cause I saw some of your music videos, and actually Brett and I watched them for like an hour last night, and they're really good videos. So we'll talk about like the single because that's like a real music video. I mean, it was like awesome.
Yeah.
And then
Big
but,
production.
you have the other videos where you're covering songs. Like you do some serious production on like covers. Where I mean, sometimes you just playing the guitar seems like an early one, but then you had the one where you have all the parts, including the snaps and the lighter.
Oh,
and
yeah.
everything.
That'd
And I
take a
appreciate
long
the
time.
effort
Brady
of like,
Bunch
recording
style.
a full song of snaps, even when you don't have to move your hand.
Oh my goodness.
Did you
dude.
sit there for 3 minutes as just hold it out for like 2 minutes before you made your first snap?
Yes, I did. I don't know. So I recorded most of that in my closet, and it was, when was it? I guess it wasn't summer, it was fall, but it was so hot in there. Every single take, I'm drenched in sweat pretty much. Behind the scenes, Avi.
Keep that hand nice and cool.
But anyway, yeah. The snaps, that was a lot.
Dude, that was
The
so
lighter?
funny. Just seeing it like that.
We were trying to see if there was a cut in the.
Yeah, I did.
Nah, dude.
and there
I don't know how
wasn't. It was
to
all
do
one
that.
take, one take. It was
I don't know how to edit like
how
that.
I don't know how you like light a lighter that many times without.
Dude,
fucking up,
I had
you know?
burns on my thumb for like 3
shit,
weeks
really?
from like lighting the lighter continuously.
Dedication.
I think it only took like 3 takes, thank goodness, but like that was.
That was really
real
cool, though.
effort to do
That
a
was
cover.
fun.
That's like the most effort to ever do a cover, and you kill it. I mean, you did all the vocal parts too. You know.
Yeah,
It was
sometimes I like
really good.
question like, what are you really working on? Like, is this really helping you get somewhere? Or are you just like freaking out and obsessing over a cover?
Yeah.
It helps.
But it's
all,
chill.
It's all content. It's
Yeah,
all, you know,
it's all,
things
like-
that people can look at and be like, oh, cool. Like,
It was super fun and it taught me a lot. It was my first like video thing that I got to put together myself, or
nice.
mash together on the.
So you did all that editing
On the
and,
iMovie?
and piecing together yourself?
I did have my friend Chris help me put the squares up because on iMovie you can't put that many squares.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to like have him use his software.
Okay. Super cool.
Yeah.
Like really
So-
cool video. Yeah.
Well, I'm still curious about the idea of the looping because your new single, You Can Stay, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the music video. That's the single, and it definitely has a sound, but it doesn't sound like necessarily like a looped song. I don't know if that's where it started from. Did it?
No.
From that place or no?
No, I actually recorded that song in like 2014 at Sonic Ranch in Tornillo, Texas with Stefano Vieni and Alex Ponce, his engineer. They are originally from Mexico City. Stefano is in LA now. Yeah, it was 2 years ago, and I just now hit them up last year to be like, can we like use those mixes? They were supposed to be demos at first, but they were pretty full productions. So last year I got inspired to use them because they were the best recordings that I had, hands down. So I hit up Fred, and it was Justin too. Yeah, Justin was there, and obviously Jacob, and I had them all like just put parts on the song that Fano had produced and played all the parts to himself. So I had them put guitar, we did add bass and drums, and then I sent it to Alex and they mixed it together. I actually went back to Mexico City to record vocals over them because, like,
it's cool.
when you sing me singing in 2014 was like very different than me singing now. Like it's 2 years of like vocal.
Just work, training,
Yeah.
muscle,
100%. I know what you
muscle,
mean.
things like
Yeah.
that.
For sure. It's
I mean, hopefully
insane.
I've improved in 2 years.
Yeah.
I don't know. But it seemed like I wanted to re-record the vocals. So I went to Mexico City. That was super fun. Then they mixed it all down, and I'm releasing one at a time. There's like 6 to 8. I don't know.
They're all from that
We'll
time
do, but-
period.
Yeah.
Is the ultimate goal like a album of all of them, or just like
Well, I'm really just releasing them digitally.
yeah?
And so, yeah, once I release, like, however many we'll release of this
Yeah.
batch, I'll just put it together on iTunes and be like, this is an album now.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
a new price if you want all of them. As, like, nobody's going to buy... Nobody buys albums, first of all.
Yeah.
Everybody picks the songs they like and they buy those. Unless you're Erykah Badu. Then I buy all of the albums,
Yes.
every single song.
Can I
That's awesome.
digress for
sorry,
a
yeah.
moment? Because you were saying Erykah Badu, and last night as we were watching these videos, Brett put on Erykah Badu because he was like, I want you to hear this because like she sounds like a lot like Erykah Badu. She's like,
I think
trying
I
to compare
talked to you about it at the show a little
did
bit.
you?
And
Okay.
I
Well, I
remember
just
that now.
asked you. I guess we didn't really have much of a conversation, but I go, you listen to a lot of Erykah Badu?
Yeah.
And you're like, I do. I was like,
Yeah.
cool. That was pretty much it.
That was like one of the coolest compliments I've ever
That's
received just now. And
Big influence, Erykah Badu.
Oh, man.
I
Very
mean,
similar.
in Dallas, she's royalty. I mean, like,
really?
always,
Oh, yeah.
like,
Yeah.
and I lived in Denton for a while. That's why, I don't know, I just
You're originally from Texas.
tuned in to her probably. I'm from Snyder,
Okay.
Texas, which is it's right in between Lubbock and Abilene in West Texas. And then I went to Denton for college, and then I came here.
University of North Texas.
Yes.
Nice. Very cool.
Yes, it was fun.
You said that she's like a queen in Dallas. Is that where she was originally from? Erykah Badu?
I know that's where she's based out of. I don't.
Okay.
I don't think I think she's originally like grew up there, but don't fact check that.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, okay. It was fun, though, because I hadn't listened. So I hadn't listened to her, I don't know, in a long, long time, since probably high school. And when I heard you play, I was like, oh, fuck. And it made me, I dove back into Lauryn Hill, Miseducation, Jill Scott, like the early 2000 years, Erykah Badu. I mean, love all that stuff. I just kind of forgot about it. You know what I mean? I mean, you don't forget about it, but it just there's so much music that you kind of go through these periods where you listen to different things.
Exactly.
Kind of left that part of me behind, and then when I heard you, I was like, Phew. So I gotta go revisit this stuff. Like, it's really good.
I just recently that album that I think she released it a few years ago. It's all about cell phones, and Andre 3000 sings. I'm pretty sure it's a cover. Almost certain.
Sense.
It's called Hello, and that's like my favorite one. But I didn't hear it until a month ago.
Yeah.
I was out of touch for years and didn't even see this album was out.
I have no idea what their new stuff, like any of those women, like I haven't. It's just all the stuff that I'm familiar with is like 98 and like 2004.
I hear that. Like when I go revisit Britney Spears, it's always like around the year 2000.
Yeah.
You know, the rest of it's just like meh.
But that whole, like, I kind of got introduced to Erykah Badu by listening to a lot of Outkast and Andre 3000. And yeah.
So, in case you were wondering, everybody, Erykah Badu, born in 1971, Dallas, Texas.
Cool.
Bazinga.
Damn.
Texas music, how about that?
Fact check
Ching, ching.
by Joe.
Cha-ching.
Now you know with
Now
Joe.
you know with Joe.
It's a recurring segment.
Yeah, it's my reoccurring history
I really gotta
history
make it.
segment, and you were just part of it.
The more
Oh
you
my
know
goodness.
with Joe.
I'm gonna make a jingle out of that. Well, I'm still curious about your approach to like the looping. I mean, we watched some of your videos too on doing the looping, but it's not like you're able to like cut off certain parts of the loop at certain times. It seems. I mean, it's like you know your shit when you're doing that, and it's not like I've seen people do it live where you can tell they're just getting into it and starting to feel how to work the technology and the machines and the instruments.
Totally.
But,
I've been there
Yeah.
for a long time.
Yeah. But now, you know, do you see a difference between writing a song or playing a loop, or is it all the same to you?
You just inspired me to write a whole slew of songs just with the looper. Because usually I don't write with the looper. It's more of a production tool for me. Like, you were saying earlier, I feel like I could I've definitely honed production skills through the looper, unexpectedly and intentionally. But in other news, so the reason that I picked this looper that I use is Boss RC300. It's because it has 3 whole tracks, so I can make how I line it out, which you can do it anyway. All the parameters are, you can mess with them, but I usually do like a rhythm track on the first track, and it's like the one that sets the tempo within the looper and makes it possible for, okay, if this is set for 2 measures, the next one's 2 and the next one's 4 on the tracks. I'm not sure if this makes sense, but
we're good now.
it sets like the amount of time and what makes up the 2 and the 4 measures, so it has to all flow within the song. Okay, so the second track I usually do something chorusy, something like even bringing in the bass or something that I'm going to hit in the bridge of the chorus, and the last one's usually like and this is the chorus part and everything, tag hook, whatever signature lick is happening, that's there. It just
Can you do that again?
That sounds
obviously
really good in
I
these
headphones. Yeah.
But
And this is the chorus part. I'm maybe singing that at the gym tomorrow.
But it's
Psych, I'm not
it's
going to
that
the gym.
lift, whatever makes the chorus just be like, I feel
The
that
extra little bit. Yeah.
We should have used that tonight to just loop just stupid crap that we all say,
Oh my
Hello.
God, I should
Oh, man.
have brought it.
I'm sure you
blew
probably
an
had a lot of
opportunity
fun doing stuff with that.
We'd probably be here
I used to
forever.
teach music lessons, and I would bring the looper to music with certain students that I thought could deal, and I kept some of those loops. I still have them in the looper.
That's awesome.
They were geniuses, those little kids.
That's
oh my
awesome.
gosh.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's the
It
vibe.
seems to be a common theme on this show is that the people that are on it are very genuine people, especially when they perform. Like, you can really see that it's not to them, it's not, I'm trying to perform. They're just doing what they love. Does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you kind of have that similar thing. We were watching it last night. It was Sarah and I and Matt, and it was just like, wow, you look like you're having a good time. It's kind of, even though it's taken you, it took you a minute and a half to get to restart singing, you didn't realize it because it was fun. You could tell you're just enjoying,
good.
you know what I mean? You're enjoying what you're doing. So I don't know what I'm trying to get out of that, but
Plus, you're really
That's-
good at it, so it's,
yeah, I guess that's
you don't have to restart a
Yeah.
vocal thing.
Oh, hold on 1 second.
Mulligan. Dude, I do that all the time at shows. When I mess up the beat, I'm just like, you know what, you guys, this is going to be better for us all. So just start over.
Here we go again. Try it. Whoop.
Oh, Fourth Tap. You'll have a Fourth Tap sticker.
We love
Yeah.
that
Have y'all,
place.
I just got invited to DJ their Halloween party on the 13th.
Hell yeah, you should do
Nice.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
I
awesome.
am so excited.
They're-
Halloween prom?
We're
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what it. Oh, sorry.
we're
go,
like
y'all.
we're super tight with those people. They're
Yeah,
so cool.
they're
Like
nice.
It's good to hear because I hadn't been in. Just a friend hit me up. Oh,
Yeah. I'm obsessed.
Ryan just pulled down
Yeah,
his
I'm
hat to show that he had 4-tap symbol on his hat, folks. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, good. I'm glad we have a narrator.
Yeah, you know.
yeah.
But
Joe's killing it.
but what were you saying about the 4-tap? You'd never been there?
I hadn't been there. I just because I don't do a bunch of beer. Womp womp.
You don't do
so
beer.
I know. I sound so posh.
Podcast over.
I do
honestly-
so much beer. I do beer like all the time.
you'll dig on their stuff. They've got.
feel like it.
It almost seems like they've got. No matter if you like beer or not, they've got something for you.
Yeah. My parents liked it, and they don't really drink beer. So.
Totally. And every gig this dude hits me up for is always like so tight. So I always say yes. His name's Chris. He has a company called Let's Bevy.
Dude, yeah.
Do you
You're
know
running.
him?
You're running in the circle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't you mean music firsthand?
Music firsthand
Is this
now.
company-
Yeah.
They just changed the name.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oops,
We'll cut that
I
out.
was
See, now we can
behind.
cut that
No,
out.
you're
Then-
good. So music firsthand.
Yeah, we did.
It'll just sound like she'll just be like,
I'll
Chris,
say
who
it too.
runs
Petrofsky.
Who runs
Cut it.
Chris from Music Firsthand?
Yeah.
Nice.
Does that sound too bad? Yeah, okay.
No, yeah, you're good.
Oh yeah, Chris.
Oh, we know Chris.
Oh,
Yeah,
Petrovka.
Chris is a
Yeah,
great
yeah,
guy.
yeah.
Okay, I never say his last name because I always just end up like jumbling something.
Yeah.
Petrowski.
Close.
That'd be a good beat, like Petrovsky.
Yeah, he's doing a. Is he asking you to do his online video blog, or not blog, but video
Like Facebook
Show.
Live thing.
Facebook Live things that he's asking you?
No, but now I feel offended that he hasn't.
He will. He will.
He'll ask you for sure. Yeah, it's cool.
Now he will.
I would ask you. You're invited to that.
Oh,
You
thank
should
you.
be. Yeah. It'll happen.
We'll set it up without him knowing about it.
Just show up.
Now.
Chris,
Well, now that
Sydney's coming to your house tonight.
now that you've been on the Say It Loud podcast, everybody's gonna want you. On their
that's how it works.
The bump is.
It's the
Bears and
20.
Fire bump.
This is the 23rd episode, by the way.
Yeah.
I looked
Oh, you
on.
did?
I
Cool.
looked on our
Oh,
website.
nice.
23rd.
23rd.
Nice.
23
That was
is a
Michael
big
Jordan's
year.
number, right?
Yeah, it was.
Oh, I know a sports fact.
Also,
Sports facts.
nobody
with-
likes you when you're 23.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, Blink
yeah.
182.
Oh, yes, I've
Yeah.
heard that. I've
That's
heard
what I.
that.
Yeah. I don't know if that's true.
It's going around.
Yeah.
Oh my
What were we
goodness.
saying about Chris? Like, what were we talking about? What was the whole main point of?
Oh, you're gonna do the
Oh.
Fourth Tap show, right?
Yeah, I
Or
saw
your
that
DJ,
Fourth Tap
yeah.
sticker. Pretty much. Another tangent.
Another tangent.
Yeah, you should definitely like talk to the people at Fourth Tap. They're really cool. Some of the coolest people I know in town.
So,
Like all the employees and
if
stuff.
you're listening, go
Right
to
on.
4-tap Zombie Prom. We'll have, Halloween Prom.
Nightmare Prom is what
Nightmare
she said on
Prom.
that.
Nightmare Prom.
Brian,
That's right. Where you'll see Sydney
you
Wright
should-
DJing.
You should talk to Erin because she's doing. So Erin's. I don't know if is she the one you're talking to at Fort Tap, Erin?
Stecker.
Yes,
Yeah.
she is. Yeah.
So if I'm, she just was hired by, is it House of Torment?
Yeah.
Yeah, as a makeup artist.
Really?
Yeah. So
Oh,
she does
that's
that.
She does
interesting.
crazy
So at that
makeup.
Halloween party, I would imagine she's probably gonna. I
Oh
don't
my
know,
gosh,
maybe
I bet
not.
she's
Crazy
gonna be
makeup.
nuts.
Could
I
ask her
bet
to
some
do
of her
ya.
buddies from House of Torment will come. I don't
Dude,
know.
Also-
I know I will because I never do Halloween until the hour.
The day.
of
yeah.
the show
Familiar
that I
with
want to go
that.
to.
Also, I'm really hoping that you're going to go out as DJ Sydney Fright.
Ooh.
I would really
That's-
appreciate it
my-
if you did.
That's-
I think
Fright.
I'm the DJ that
That's
just
right
like
there,
skips
yeah.
names. I have not committed. Okay, I DJ yoga classes. My name is DJ Nama Slay. There. At other gigs, I'm like DJ Sid, but with a $sign for the S. DJ
For
Sydney
Halloween.
Fright. I'm gonna make a sign. That
Oh,
is
please
too
do.
good.
Please
You just
do.
made my heart has skipped a beat.
Take it.
I'm so
I
excited.
want you to have it.
Thank you. Do you want me to credit you? in
Nah,
that? Okay.
well, if somebody asks, then I'll,
Credit-
then you can tell them that it,
Credit
that
Fair
it's me,
City
but-
Fire.
But you don't have to. You don't have to put it anywhere.
If you need
But
ghost
no.
I'll put it
tracks,
on the sign. It's
I was
fine.
I was just like, damn it. That's so perfect. I wish it was that perfect for
Sydney
everybody.
Wright. Oh my gosh,
man, that's gonna
off
be great.
the top.
There you
That
go.
was
Perfect for
amazing.
Halloween prom.
If you need like ghost tracks, like to play between songs, like
Please.
welcome to fourth tab.
We got
like,
you.
I could do that. Yeah.
Can I? Yeah, we need to. Oh, thank you. Send me that clip,
Dude,
please.
we should make one right now. Let's loop
Do
it.
it.
Ready?
Okay.
Let's loop a fourth tap Halloween song. Ready?
Oh my god.
Beat.
Who's gonna start?
Sorry, I
Oh,
messed with your snare.
You're way better
Sorry.
than I.
Okay, I'm just gonna beatbox this. Here we go.
We need that thriller, like.
Oh, so.
Okay. Fourth Tap Brewing. 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 Fourth Tap Brewing.
Halloween prom.
Fourth Tap Brewing.
Halloween prom.
Fourth Tap Brewing.
Halloween prom. Get that.
Halloween prom.
Get that.
I don't know.
That was good. That was
That
good.
was
I'm out
awesome.
of breath. I am.
Things were looped though. Technically, they were looped.
Loop fest. Loop
That
fest.
was. Yeah, that was a loop.
Don't worry.
Sure.
Capitol's gonna take care of that one. I think. Capitol Records. We'll just send it to them. They'll fix
We'll
it.
just
Yeah.
send- yeah.
You're welcome,
We'll
world.
fix it in the mix.
Let's talk about your music video.
Yeah, I
Like
want to
your
talk about
real music video. That's like it's a fucking real music video. You know. Like we need a time out, wine break.
Sorry, I was trying to be.
that. Time out. Blow the whistle.
I think we can multitask. We can
definitely do that.
we can continue this conversation.
Because there's a few things I want to ask about the music video.
Yeah, of course.
About the song itself and about the video. So let's start with the song.
Yeah.
So You Can Stay. Like when I listen to that song, like to me it seems like somebody who is like do I have it right? Like you're like, no, you can just stay, but stay there, like stay out of like what I'm doing because I'm like moving on past you. Is that what it is or no?
It's one. Yeah, I feel like it's one of those things that like kind of slaps you in the face with the meaning. It's like someone robbing you and being like, "Give me your wallet," and you're like, "How much do you need?" Like just like that plot twist or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
just
Because yeah,
it's just surprising. Yeah, so it's obviously a breakup song. I wrote it like 3 years ago, and honestly, I do not remember which breakup it was about, but probably about.
you just put them all into one.
It's about yours.
Yeah, exactly. It's it's been a rough 6 months. I'm just gonna.
They'll know. They'll
You
know
guys,
who it
yeah,
is.
just split it into verses. Everybody gets a time to shine.
Everyone gets a couple lines.
But no, I actually, around that time, had read this. It changed the way that I wrote songs. I read this book called Screenplay by Bill Fields. It's a textbook. It's like you
I
would
might
read
have
it.
that in my bedroom actually.
It does such a good
Or my
job.
room. So I don't want to say bedroom. My room. That's weird to say bedroom. Sorry.
Your
Go ahead.
bedroom
We can edit that out. Post.
sounds
You
sexual.
ruined everything.
That wasn't in the script. That wasn't in the script. I was trying to go, ad lib, and I fucked up. Shit.
Take him out. Get him out of here.
Yeah. So let's cut. Rewind. Go ahead.
And
You
back
re-
in. So yeah, I was reading that book, and it does I just remember it did such a good job of being like, to tell a story, which is what I love about songs. You need a beginning, a conflict, and a resolution. And so that's kind of how I started writing songs during that time period. And yeah, that's basically what it was. And that's probably why I don't remember the facts, is because it was more of like a story I was telling than really anything based in reality, which makes for the worst story, because it's like, oh, I just made it up. But
But you're not making up the way
Yeah.
you feel.
oh, no doubt,
Yeah,
no doubt.
I mean-
And it's kind of like, I don't know, I like the way that it just kind of is very, it's very not codependent, which is what breakups
Right.
feel like you want to do the most, is like just reach out and have it back or something. But like, I like that it's like, no, dude,
Yeah.
that line has been smashed and
Or no
crossed
girl.
and-
We're done
Like
here.
when
Nah,
I was
bruh.
I was like, no, girl.
Nah, bruh.
Exactly.
Well,
it could be
girl.
anybody.
Well, it's like
Yeah.
you see a song called "You Can Stay," and then you hear the beginning. It's like, oh, this is about like, hey, you can stay with me. It's like, no, you can stay over there, and I love that. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah,
It
flips
shows-
on its
That's
edge,
a twist.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
a
yeah.
twist.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Plot twist. Before I sing it at shows, I'm always like, this is a song called You Can Stay, and it's an invitation. And everybody's like, oh, love song. Then it's not.
And that's
Booyah.
not. Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
And the video is, I mean, that's pretty intense video. I mean, I'm trying, like, there's a lot of, like, imagery in there for sure. I mean, it's like, you have, well, the dancers, number one.
Isn't that
do you know,
so,
how many of those people did you know? Like,
Solange?
yeah.
I hired like a team of people.
Shout
They're
out
the
to-
ones that sent me the story. They did like the creative and art direction and everything. And so it was kind of like, oh my gosh, and they had so many more scenes. It's obviously abstract. So people that sometimes are like, so I did not, I mean, it was beautiful, but I did not get it. And so I have to be like, well, it's like the color red is primary in it. And
you have
it's
that across
the
your face,
color
like, isn't
of-
it kind
The
of like,
threads
it's-
and all, like, hanging
yeah,
off
okay.
somewhere
Oh
on
my
you, right?
gosh, this
Yeah.
is amazing.
Laser beams.
So it's the color. The theme
Yes.
is like it's the color of rebirth, and this is kind of like a transcendent song. You know, like you're getting above the situation, and you're just being like, you know what, this is bad for me, and even though it sucks, like just get out and stay out. You know, so that's kind of like the vibe of the red. It's just like, you know what, I'm just like gonna change everything right now because it has to happen. Okay, but the yarn box, Elise Moltz, she spent hours and probably days creating that yarn box. It was so intricate, and it was like a bunch of like or I don't know what kind of stands they were, and she just like draped yarn through it, and it was huge. It was a huge box.
It's remarkable.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like,
I need to like
That's incredible.
shout out on Facebook to all these people that worked on this video. It was, and most of them were doing it for, you know, cheap to free. I was so lucky that people were so gracious. Now I know, you know, people in film, and I can tap into that when I want to. I love Austin for this.
Oh yeah, everyone's doing something.
The circles,
Like
it's
the-
so small towny. Are y'all from small towns?
Yeah,
Is
for sure.
everybody from a small town?
I'm from outside of Houston, so I guess that town is small. Houston's not a very small town, though.
But still,
Spring
you get
is,
like
but
the
yeah.
small circles.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree.
Yeah. So, like, Austin is, like, several different small towns, and they can be, like, towns of industry, or even of, like, I work on East 6th Street instead of West 6th Street. It's like, I work on Red River, and now we're a tribe. Like, it's
Yeah.
insane,
Yeah.
and it's awesome.
I'd say so.
I
Yeah,
love it.
it's like when meeting some of these guys back in the day, like we would meet somebody else, and it was like, oh yeah, I know that person. I'm about to play with them, or like, oh, I know this. You're right. It's like it's just a community, and everyone seems to figure out who each other is. Like as it goes on, it's interesting.
It's so useful. There are, and it's so, like, talentful.
It's kind of part of the whole purpose of like this. One of the main purposes of this podcast is to get to know like other people in the music community and stuff. And
Yeah.
it's amazing how that, you know, kind of works out. It's just like we're just connected to people afterwards, you know,
Yeah.
and it's like that that feeling of like seeing them at somebody else's show or something
Yeah.
is just like, oh, cool, you know, we did this. So it's like totally, I'm all about that connection in Austin.
And then the
I love that.
camaraderie, even between industries, like,
Yeah.
they showed up for, like, nobody in LA would do that. They have to pay their LA bills. And,
Yeah.
like, it's not cheap here either, but the kind of people here are so, their camaraderie is, like,
Yeah. We always talk about like the difference between Austin and like Nashville and LA and New York is how, I mean, it's really competitive there, and I'm sure people help each other out and things like that. But you're right, like the people showed up for your, you know, they could have been done with afterwards. They could have just been done, like that was their job, like that they were done with it, move on to the next gig, like whatever. But they ended up like continuing to support and like come out and things like that. Like, you know what I mean? The people will do that here. I think people do that here
oh,
often.
that's for sure. But they do it anywhere. All you have to do is, like, grab someone's attention, I
Yeah.
guess. I don't really know, honestly, what it takes, because I don't know what I'm doing. That's okay.
None of us do.
Yeah, none of us do. Yeah, right. Oh, I know that's true. That's
We're
so
all
funny.
just flying blind, and then you just kind of like stick with what has worked in the past and don't do what didn't work. It's kind
Totally.
of my
One thing that I feel
analysis.
like works is honesty and
Yes.
self-awareness and portraying, like, something that is genuine, people like that these days, which is so refreshing.
Yeah. Well, I think because there's so many things that aren't. I think we're oversaturated with things that aren't genuine.
Exactly,
That finally
we're getting wise.
Now
to
it's
it.
like when you find something that is, you're like, okay, I kind of like that. I feel like it was quite the opposite for quite some time. It was like everything was just.
It's easy to latch onto that.
Yeah.
Kind of
sure.
like be drawn to that.
Have any of you
Authenticity,
had a
yeah.
moment where you felt like you weren't genuine, where you're like, I
Oh
just
yeah.
did this thing, and I was like, why did I do this? Like, that's not who I'd be or who
I mean,
wanna
you'd
be.
have to, I think, right?
Like,
I
what,
mean, at
can you
some point in
remember
your
anything?
You got
life.
to do that a little
Yeah.
bit.
every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, okay.
I am a
yeah, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Actually, I get it. Yeah. I mean, like, to get money, like actual money, cash in hand to do
Oh, my
something.
gosh.
Yeah, man.
Oh, okay.
I
It's-
am not a
backwards,
DJ. Do you know
man.
what I do?
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to give it away.
No,
Oh, yes.
You know why I DJ?
DJ
Off the
Because
record.
people pay insane amounts of money for you to go and play songs off your computer.
I know.
It's not
Yeah,
off my
yeah,
computer. Like
yeah.
I have a whole like MIDI controller and stuff. It's
Yeah,
an
of course.
operation, but still.
That pays the bills, I'm sure, right? Like those DJ gigs or like.
Oh, it can. I always try to do the best job at what I can do, but DJing is so a little like. I have a really hard time watching a DJ perform because I cannot tell what they're doing. I mean, unless you can, which I think makes it a whole nother level of being a DJ. But like, yeah, you can sit there and play a playlist
God, I
and
hate
people and get paid for it.
And just leave. Be outside.
It's insane. I've seen it so many
Oh, yeah.
times running sound.
You seem like you'd craft your playlist.
Yeah, let's
just
get
I try
personally
as much
because
as I can. I do what I can with
Can we
the
do a
skills I
sneak
have.
peek? I mean, is it based on the situation or like how long you're playing? Like, what are we looking at? Like, what's your first like 3 songs that you're gonna be like? people
Oh,
are
it
gonna
totally
start
depends on
dancing?
the party.
Okay.
I
Let's say, do you do like weddings or anything like that, or is it mostly always like downtown?
I
shit?
could. I've done a bunch of yoga classes, which is
Ooh,
fun.
yeah, okay. Yoga.
Um,
Let's do 6 minutes of downward facing dog. What do you got? What do
Oh
you
my
got
gosh,
for me?
some of the first yoga actually booked for live music for Wanderlust Studio downtown, and so it's
just
all
play, like,
about
New James
following
and-
the vibe. I mean, they have all kinds of classes.
Yeah,
You can do
yeah.
Yo Strong, which is like an intensity interval weight
Yeah.
class with the yoga. So there's all kinds. It goes from that.
Well, I
to
meant
the
like
end, you
the
know?
music. Is it like?
So
Sorry,
you
let's
start out,
finish.
you kind of just follow the vibe of the class. You
Yeah.
start out, if I was doing like a normal vinyasa flow, you start out slow, lots of drones maybe, and then, you know, they'll go through the warm-up. You're like getting mid-tempo, and then they start sweating. And performing at these is like the worst because you're sitting here performing to a crowd of people with the most pained look on their faces because they're sitting there working out. They're like making gains,
Yeah.
and you're just like, they don't like it. Everyone hates this.
Man,
The first gig I played, I was like, wait, no, they're working out. Sydney, stop being weird. But
do you ever want to yell something like, "Let's get turned up, let's do it, let's get
What?
it going"? What?
Yeah.
What?
do you get do they tell you what they're gonna do beforehand, or do you kind of freestyle the
yeah.
whole thing?
Oh, I like to connect. When I do it, I try to connect with the teacher. Some of them will have really specific things. Like I'm going to have them do this sequence where they're going to end up in a chair position, and that's when the warm-up's over and we're going to start getting sweaty. So put in a beat, you know, or that's what I would do. Or start singing. Adding an element just like deepens it, you know.
Do you
And-
sing during it?
Oh, I do because
That's
yeah,
pretty
I-
cool.
I-
Yeah, that's really
I just
cool.
did. Anyway, that's another tangent. But
Yeah, I want to. Wait, you did what?
Yeah.
so I just did a Sunday ritual at South Congress Hotel. They do like once monthly class. And all of my stuff didn't work. I usually do the looping thing where I'm droning, and then I'll add like a little beatbox, and then we'll go. And in the end, I always do Hallelujah, that Leonard Cohen song,
yeah.
on guitar,
Yeah.
like just acoustic, and just like,
It's a good song.
That's pretty cool. See,
Yeah.
that's way more already than a normal DJ would
Yeah,
ever
right.
put
Yeah,
into
you're
any
putting
set.
way more thought into that than like I feel like an energy.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, that's not really a DJ gig. For a DJ gig, I'll just make up a playlist of songs that I think are kind of the same tempo and the same vibe. Like if it's a family event, get the clean versions, blah blah blah. Just curate the playlist of whatever the client.
Yeah, play to your audience kind of thing.
Yeah.
Such a businesswoman.
Yeah, like this Halloween gig, I'm just gonna find honestly a bunch of remixes that I think are cool that other DJs have done. They want electronic and Halloween music, and so I'm just gonna like vibe with that.
Inside tip:
What?
the Fourth Tap crew loves Radiohead.
I'm about to blow their minds.
Okay.
with this
No.
playlist.
Cool.
And I'm
Yeah,
also
I got
gonna
it. Okay,
I'm gonna
noted.
need the Monster Mash on there at least
Right?
once.
I mean, yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
of course.
majority
yeah,
is
once,
it's not
right?
a Halloween
Okay,
party.
good. Without the Monster Mash, I really
Exactly.
need that.
Burn the witch. That'd
So
be
how
a
do
good
you?
one.
So you have no idea about your
excellent.
Halloween DJ costume yet? Is that what you're saying? Because you do it the day of.
Oh, usually yeah. I never get ready for Halloween because I just end up like, it'll take up my whole month if I try to prepare that. I just
Yeah.
like, it's Halloween day. Sid, it's go time. Challenge accepted. What are you gonna make? Last year I was a mime zombie
Mime
because I have a
zombie.
band outfit, like marching band outfit that looks like a
Fuck
mime.
yeah.
And then one year I just like got lazy and just like wore an orange shirt and painted my face like a jack-o'-lantern. It's just kind of like,
Yeah.
I'll get way too into it if I try.
I was gonna ask about what was your MVP Halloween costume ever, but I think the marching band outfit already is the answer.
Should
I
we
can't
just go
imagine.
around?
Well,
Yeah, let's
Yeah,
do that. Yeah.
please.
Do you have one, Brian?
Uh,
Yeah, you mean
yeah,
you brought
so
it
you
up.
wanna go ahead?
Yeah, there's a few in my that I've been around for, but I've only been around for a couple years.
So
I'm gonna say I already know what I'm thinking of. Do you?
my freshman year of college, I was a spider.
Oh,
Hold on. Pause for Hoosier. Hoosier's going nuts here.
I think it was just that motorcycle went by.
does he have a
anyways.
mohawk?
I feel really safe though, so
Yeah, he kept us safe
thanks,
Yeah.
Future.
from the
Yeah, right.
unsafes.
Yeah, Hoosier's the best.
Good boy, buddy.
That was the loudest
You
I've
did
ever
it,
heard.
buddy.
He's not much of a barker.
No, he doesn't.
So right back.
Halloween outfit. Freshman
Halloween
year of
outfit.
college.
Freshman year of college, I was a wild little animal. But I
Oh,
dressed
that's gonna
up.
be a drop now too.
Yeah.
I think we need a wild little animal. That's gonna be a thing. Yeah.
So I dressed up as a spider. Okay, so I was trying to. It was like the day of, right? So I was trying to like figure out, like Sydney was saying, challenge accepted. Let's do this. My grandma, the one like in Tennessee, sent me some like webbing, in the mail, like in a care package for Halloween.
Like 600 cookies.
Yeah, there were a bunch of cookies too. Sure, yeah.
That's a whole.
Yeah.
That's an inside
That's
joke.
yeah. Anyways, so I just decided to put the webbing all over myself, which is not really how spiders do stuff, but whatever. Like, it's like, this is fine. So I just put it all over myself,
Science.
and I wrote spider on my shirt,
To be clear,
and I found a cardboard box I wasn't using, and I cut out like little like stupid looking spider legs. So I just like hung like 4 of them on the side of me and like painted it like just I like took a marker and made it black. So yeah, I was a spider, and like and I remember I was on the bus on the way to a party, and these gentlemen came up to me and said, "What are you supposed to be, some kind of fake ass spider?" And I said. And I was a little hammered, but I was like, I'm the spider that bit Spider-Man.
yeah.
And so like they just went nuts. Yeah.
Now it's a costume.
Yeah, now it's a costume. Yeah.
You passed, Brian Wolf.
Yeah. So that's yeah. I feel like that story needed to be told.
It did.
Yeah, I don't want to follow that.
Yeah.
I don't want
That's
to
a
follow
new
that.
one.
That's
Yeah.
probably
I've never heard that
too
story.
good. Yeah,
That's pretty awesome.
Too good.
I was a wild little animal.
A wild little animal. Yeah, you sure were. That makes sense now.
Brett, what about you?
Oh, I don't have anything crazy. I've been the same
Lazy bones.
lazy bones for the last like 8 years running.
I love that.
I just have it was actually I was living in San Antonio and my brother was living up here, and I came up he was throwing a Halloween party, and we were looking at costumes, and of course it's the day of, so there's nothing there. So I had to buy a children's like the skeleton costume, right? Like, have you ever seen Donnie Darko?
Yes.
Where he's wearing like just the
Or
bones
like
costume.
Karate Kid 1.
Yeah, Karate Kid 1.
Yeah. Like
Just the bones costume, but it's so small that it stops like here, and I had to cut the crotch because it was like riding up. So I just wear black pants under it and like safety pinned it to it. But I've been bones for the last like 8 years.
But he puts a bathrobe over that skeleton costume, right? As you're saying.
I
make it
have.
lazy
I'll
bones
switch it up. So
yeah.
one year I'll wear a hoodie and try to like the people are like, oh, you're a guy from Donnie Darko. I'm like, sure. I just lazy and I don't want to. And then I'll wear a robe. Call it lazy bones. Yeah. Pretty lame.
I've never had one that. Oh, my favorite one didn't go over as I planned. like I was thinking like too outside the box. Like people will get this and they'll love it. But it was like with a girlfriend at the time. It's like we're gonna do a theme. You know, we're gonna be like a couple's costume. So like I taped on me like, you know, Uno cards and dice and jacks and like an N64 game. It was like I was supposed to be like games, and I made her dress up like a hobo with dirt on her face. With a
I remember
sign,
that, yeah.
with a sign that said like "We'll work for food" or something. So we were like, we were Hunger Games because she was hungry and I was games.
Yes.
Oh my
Really
God.
nice.
I probably should have been hungry. I didn't.
It was pretty. I remember that.
The horrible older sister that
so
makes
funny.
the smaller kid get at the bottom
Yeah.
of the cheerleader pyramid.
So
That is mean.
Damn.
So did you guys break up
We're
that
not
night?
together
or-
anymore. We're not together anymore.
I'm so appalled.
It would have been better if like people got it because we like she'd be here and we'd hug and be like I'd be pointing at us like she's hungry and I'm
Hobo
games.
games.
Nobody got it. But
God.
afterwards, it was like the most unenthusiastic I get it ever. It's like, yeah. All right. Yeah.
Should have just wrote "hungry" on a shirt.
Yep, those
I
are
think-
2 words that are a reference. Yeah, I didn't have to make her like get dirty on her face.
What did you like put on her face? Like what?
I don't know. I think she might have used dark makeup. I don't know.
That's
Like-
good.
Yeah, I'm sure there's something.
I was just walking around
real
with
dirt.
aces up my sleeve.
my
She's
God.
like,
All right, I gotta
I
say
like
mine.
that a lot.
I gotta say mine, and then I have to
Please.
get going. Actually, I have to leave a little early for this podcast.
well, hurry up. We're gonna play quick. Can we do 5 minutes of a game afterwards?
I gotta get going.
All right.
I gotta go.
Dude, bull,
I know. I'm sorry.
bull.
I know.
Joe hates us.
But here we go. I don't have a story or anything like that. I've been a plethora of things. Zorro with a drawn-on mustache. Speaking of little creatures, I think my go-to one was Steve Irwin. I was Steve Irwin one time.
Pretty good.
Oh, interesting.
And it
Now
was
with
like,
the manta ray.
and it was
thing.
not with the manta ray. The funny thing about it was it had shorts that came up like right mid-thigh. Like, just so if you needed some shorts,
So
you
you're
could just
getting
buy a
sexy.
Steve Irwin costume. And then it had like a vest on, but then it also came with like an inflatable alligator
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
that you could.
Oh, this was a package deal.
This is like a package. Yeah, this is like a package thing, and there's like a mini alligator in there that you could jump on and be like Steve Irwin
That's
as a
awesome.
kid and stuff like
I
that.
wonder
So
if they kick back any of that costume money to like his children.
I don't know.
and family.
Probably not. Of course, it
Yeah,
wasn't
the
like Steve
Halloween-
Irwin.
Notify them.
But of course, it wasn't like Steve Irwin costume. It was like Australian guy or like zookeeper costume. You know what I mean? It's not.
Gotcha.
They don't.
You could repurpose it.
They
as
don't
you
tell you
say.
it's Steve
That's
Irwin.
how
They
they
tell
do
you
it.
it's that guy or like
It's not a Mario costume. It's a
Real.
Italian plumber
Yeah,
costume.
exactly. Yeah. Oh man, that's so funny. We can cut this part out, but I gotta get going.
Goodbye, Joe.
Later, Joe.
Bye, Joseph.
So you were just talking about playing instruments. It's a weird way to say it, but like you know a lot. Like I mean, we were talking earlier about that video where you had the Brady Bunch of different instruments going on. You know, like all the different the tiles. You had the snaps. You had the
Like a
lighter.
djembe or
You had the
something,
different
maybe.
vocals. You can play a lot of shit. So I mean, were you like in elementary school musician? Did you practice there? Did you start privately when you were growing up? I mean, how do you have this arsenal of musicianship?
My mom, I have 3 sisters, no brothers. My mom had us all in piano lessons like before. I think she taught piano lessons for a minute, so and she like comes from a long line. All the ladies in the family, I think this is a cultural thing. All the ladies in the family play piano because pretty much all the ladies in the family play either organ or piano in church. For funerals, that's like the fam. That is my mom's side of the family. That's what we do. So anyway, she had us in piano lessons. I remember like always having a piano in the house, and I would like play songs for my babysitters and like my stuffed animals and everybody who like wanted to be totally enthralled with me.
That's the best babysitter gig ever. You show up and there's like a little kid that
Little
can
performer.
play piano.
Yeah.
I mean, geez.
Oh, play piano is like
What
a
were you
loose
playing?
term.
What were you playing?
I was playing happy songs on the treble notes.
Like things
and
that
I was
you were
playing-
making up, or
Yeah,
like-
I was playing sad songs on the low notes, And let's put this in perspective. I was 3 and I was mashing on buttons that were higher and then other notes that were lower. Like, this was true art, I think.
It is, right?
But,
Because you're feeling it completely, right?
Totally.
That's something.
It was definitely going down there. My first concerts. But yeah, so I played piano for a long time. But the weird part is, I never knew how to play anything that wasn't written on like a piece of paper, like in notation, until I got to college.
So you didn't do like middle school or any like band or anything?
Oh
like
yeah,
that?
I did choir a lot. I did a lot of choir.
But you don't read music. You just kind of
Hell yeah,
like,
choir.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
hear it,
Well, yeah, choir.
It was either or usually, right?
Yeah, well, there was no improvisation. I guess that's the point I'm trying to make. Like, I didn't know how to improvise. I didn't know chord structure. I didn't know progressions. I just knew, like, this is what the note says, so
you
this
had
is
an
what
ear.
I'll play. Yeah. Chord charts. I used to, like, print off chord charts of country songs I wanted to learn. That's how I learned guitar, and that's how I kind of, like, got into songwriting and stuff. I was like, Mom, if I learn guitar, can I stop playing piano? I was so over it. I was such a jerk. I was, like, 15.
That's probably like, but you were playing piano since you were young, right? Just hearing notes and hearing your sisters play and everything like that.
Oh, totally, yeah.
It's kind of like, probably like going into a forest or like growing up. Like, it's like the Jungle Book dude, right? Mowgli, like he knows, nobody's ever given him a map, but he knows where to go.
All right.
And somebody shows up 20 years later with a map, and it's like, oh, I know how to read a map. I can do it. But probably the way you learned is more, I mean,
I learned to read
more
the
better.
map only.
Yeah.
And then
How young were you when you
started
were reading?
roughing it. When I started playing.
Well, no, when you started reading music, being able
Is that
to
in
read.
college, right?
'Cause you were,
Oh no! Oh, no. So it's the opposite. The vibe is like I could only read notes on a page until
okay.
college.
That's what I thought you were saying.
And then
yeah.
I learned to
I fucked
improvise.
that up. Sorry.
It's
Cut. Rewind. Let's do that again. Sorry. Messed up my line. See, you could only do this until college. Fuck, I'm sorry. No, that okay. Interesting.
That is interesting because it's
Yeah.
usually kind of reversed roles. Typically.
I would hope so, because that was the hardest thing. Like, the most embarrassing. Like, I had all these chops, and I did not know how to use it in certain circumstances. And, yeah, it was weird.
Like, did you do a
And-
jazz band or anything like that? in
That's when I
school?
learned how to
Right?
do it.
You know?
Jazz band.
Oh, yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
same.
Yeah.
In college, there was,
Yeah.
like, an ensemble that was a jazz ensemble.
That's cool.
Yeah, I got way better at guitar through that.
Yeah. I played trumpet in jazz band.
Me
Oh,
too.
right on.
Yeah. Hell yeah. It was like, but it was just like, play solo. It's like, I don't know how to do this.
Yeah.
And then you just figure it out, you know? Yeah. It's like,
I'll get it
okay.
later. I'll get it in the show. Yeah. I can't create right now. I just
Yeah.
can't.
Love that.
I have social studies in 20 minutes. I get it. I can't create. Let's wait for the show. All right. Thank you. Yes.
Matt was very pretentious when he was in high school jazz band.
I'm a trumpet player, though.
I just learned about the Mongol horde. It's very depressing. I don't know if you've heard of it. I'm not feeling it right now. Yes. They've many killings of children and innocents. It's, you try to play jazz, okay?
It's really affected me emotionally,
Yes.
and I'm just not in a creative state.
So, please, Mr. Meyer, give me a break, okay? Come on. I'll be
Mr.
back.
Meyer?
Yeah.
Shout out to Mr. Meyer.
I never practiced when I was in bands.
I know,
Y'all,
me neither.
Yeah.
I was the worst.
I didn't
music
either.
student.
You have to
I
do
didn't
it for
either.
45 minutes a day at school.
Yeah.
It was it for you? Was it for you guys? Was it a class at
Yeah.
your?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a
Yeah, it was
class.
a class in my high school day. Yeah.
I think we had like in middle school it was like it rotated, right? Each day was a different day, right?
That's
Or,
for like actual individual
Blue.
lessons, right? Are you
well, I'm talking about classes in general. So it's like Monday, Wednesday, Friday was
general
X
music.
classes, and Tuesday,
Yeah.
Thursday.
In
was
high
X
school, it
class.
was every day. First
Y'all
period
had
every day.
jazz bands in high school?
No, jazz band was after school.
I was extracurricular.
Really cool.
Yeah, mine was too. Yeah, for sure. It's like you want to be cool, you stay after school.
It's like
to a
it's like
rumble.
it's like the lamest detention ever. Yeah.
You know, it was interesting. I kind of went the other way. Like I learned, I learned how to read music, like playing trumpet and stuff. But like, you don't learn chords playing trumpet because you're not making chords really. You know, like to read chords. So like it's just like. But guitar, I always learned on tabs.
Yeah.
So like I had to like, I was asked to play guitar in marching band. So, and
How'd that work?
did you know that? Nobody knows that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't remember that.
That's a hell of a thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I knew that.
And how do you
Yeah.
march with that guitar?
I had
Yeah.
there was a
Well, you're in the pit.
I was
right?
in the pit for like the halftime show and stuff, but then like
marching band needs new rules.
but then there were like parades when there was just like this poor like we were called Band-Aids. It was like one of the like students' moms that would just like have to like wheel my amp along. Like, I was just like,
Oh my
poor
gosh.
lady.
she's got like a hoodie on, a volunteer hoodie. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just like here marching like
Who was
but-
the mom that would wheel yours around? Do
I
you
don't remember.
Yeah.
I wish I could.
That'd be interesting to know.
God, those are the real heroes, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I would have made you like a boombox backpack.
Okay.
Or
Oh, right.
like,
Dude, way cool.
It could've-
Yeah, it's way cooler. Yeah.
could have been different.
Because nobody could hear me anyways, probably,
Well,
Shut
with
up,
the amp's
Chris
not going
Chamberlain.
to you, you're
Yeah.
outside. Like, there's no
Right?
way.
That's not how this works. It's not like a four-sided amp that just,
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it was, that'd be great.
There's
But-
a time and place.
But
Who
no,
asked
like,
you?
yeah, so like so it was like, okay, do you want to play guitar and marching band? It's like, yeah, that's cool. Like, whatever, I'll just figure it out. And then it was just like, okay, here's all the sheet music, and it's just like all these chords that are like just, like, I mean, it's just like notated, just
Yeah, musically written.
yeah. It's not like the chords I saw on like tabs where it was just like charts,
GuitarTabs.com. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Now
But it
when
was
you're looking up Layla.
all of a sudden it was just like, okay, I got to grow up really fast here
Yeah, right.
as a musician, and I figured it out.
Challenge
But
accepted.
yeah.
Like it.
Nice.
yeah, but that
That's
was
sweet, man.
interesting.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's play this game. Well, I mean, I have so many things I want to talk about, but I want to explore this with you. Well, first, I want to know Sydney Wright. Your last name, is that your real name? Sydney Wright?
Yeah, big time.
Okay. Good. I'm
My
glad.
father had no sons, so I will.
You're bearing the name.
Yes, yeah.
You'll never be a hyphen.
I was gonna say it's
Right.
2017.
Well, if I ever
Make them
have a
take the name.
child, that would be nuts. But I will not. I will definitely be keeping the name Wright, and I will give it to the child.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
I don't know, but I don't see that happening. Like my sisters can have my kids though. One of them just had a kid.
What's her
I
name
couldn't
now?
stop using Snapchat filters. Like my friends were honestly, I had a friend be like, Sydney, I just like couldn't watch them all. I just kind of clicked through. They were cute, but like, come on. I was like,
Stop giving us too much
I
cute.
couldn't help it. I wasn't in charge. It just had to happen. Anyway.
So it's like a newborn? Or he?
Yeah,
she?
dude. I'll show you the
Yeah.
videos later. I can't.
Dude, we got to end this podcast right now. Let's
we
wrap
have
this
to
up.
look
Let's
at
wrap
these
this
baby
up.
videos.
Yeah.
What's this game you've got?
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking that your last name lends itself to like albums or songs that are punny, like.
Yes.
And I want to know if you've ever thought of any, like yourself, that you totally rejected. I mean, do you have anything in mind? Or has anybody ever like recommended something to you that's punny with your name?
I used to have a Facebook name that I made up on my own that no one got. It was kind of like your Halloween costume. No one really got it, but I thought it was hilarious.
Exactly. Like that.
So it was, I spelled my middle name Esklasion. Esclasion. Right? Phonetically, that is Esclasion. So Sydney Esclasion Wright. Sydney is classy and right.
Yeah.
Usually, I used to be like,
You're
Sydney
really
is
pushing
right.
normal people there.
I
yeah.
realize that now.
Yeah.
You know? I realize that now.
I like that. That's great.
Yeah, that's good.
Well, that's the idea. So let's play this game. I'm gonna call it. Oh, this is called the game name.
The game name.
Not in the name game.
No, that's already taken. So we're gonna make up our own. Yeah. So we've got our own one for this podcast. I don't even know what it is, but it's like I want to give you. I've come up with a few punny names, and let's pretend they're all based on you. Let's pretend that they're like an album or a song, but you guys all kind of like just give your first impressions about what that song would be about. I mean, they'd probably be from your point of view, so you guys don't have to do it. Or no, whatever. I'm just gonna. read these.
Let's.
So just say
I
what
would
you-
love to
what you're thinking
take
about.
other suggestions.
All right,
I'm
yes.
open to collaboration.
All right. I'm gonna start easy with something titled "All the Right Moves." What do you think? What would that be about?
That would be a dance compilation that my sister and I choreograph. We have a few things on Instagram. it's like one that comes to mind is a 15-second video that we made of Hit the Quan. If you hit the Quan, it was a dance challenge.
Wait, on your Instagram?
It's on my Instagram.
Wait, say your Instagram, just because people got to look at. I would look it up right now.
The handle is Sydney Wright Music.
WRIGHT. Right.
Sydney, like Australia,
Yeah.
Wright with a W.
Yeah.
Music, like you know how to spell.
It makes sense in this game too. The right. Oh, that's, yeah.
So
Not everyone knows how to spell music. Come on.
we spent 5 hours coming up with a 15-second clip to Hit the Quan. So that would be it. It would be like a compilation of dances choreographed by the fam. What do you guys think it would be?
all the right moves.
I think it's about checkers match. I think. Like just a really intense checkers match with a friend. You're making
Where
all
you
the right
only
moves.
jump to the right.
Yeah. See? Yeah.
Challenge accepted.
That's enough.
Dude, that's fucking
King
awesome.
me. That's the hook. That's the hook. King me.
Are we coming up with a chess song right now called All the Right Moves?
I said checkers, but
I
chess
like
is
that.
cool. You know, we can go chess. There'd be more to a chess.
You do like
Chess
the
song.
Iron Maiden thing, like
Yeah.
King May, just like
King
all
May.
chorus sings.
Yeah.
King May. Dun, 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 dun.
Checkmate.
Yeah,
That's
there
how
you
the
go.
song is.
Checkmate. That's fucking hilarious. So Brett, no wait, where are we? All the right moves. Top Brian.
Oh man.
What do you think? A song. Where would it be? Keep in mind, it's based on her name with a W, but I guess you can do whatever you.
Oh man. Well, yeah.
Follow your heart.
Yeah. So the first thing I was thinking about is how we can somehow eat pizza during the day. Like how can I lead the decision of whoever I'm with at that particular time to eat pizza at some point in the day?
I like where this is going.
It's like a strategy guide.
It's a
for
strategy
pizza
guide.
lovers.
Yeah. It's like how can I work pizza into the conversation to where at some point in the day we're going to be eating pizza.
That's a field survival guide for pizza lovers. Can we keep this in the room? Because that's like a brilliant. We'll split the publishing
Yes,
4 ways.
obviously.
Like whether it's
Yeah.
you know
We'll write that. Let's make
subtle subliminal messages
Can we make
Of-
music videos?
or just little things that make you think of pizza throughout the day where without me specifically saying, "Hey, let's eat pizza." So whoever I'm with is suggesting it by the time we're ready to eat, and I'm like, "Oh,
Totally.
yeah."
You
I mean,
just like exclaim, "Mamma mia!"
Yeah,
Just
pizza,
like little
yeah.
hints.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Pizza sounds real nice.
That is incredible, Brett. But that is the wrong answer.
Okay.
So you're -1. You gave a -1. Everybody else got 1 point.
Oh.
You have -1.
All right.
Okay. So the game name round 2, another song.
I didn't
I
think there
want
were
you to
wrong answers in
explain.
this.
No, I didn't either until that one. Yeah. It's like
He's like, you know
Reminds
what?
me of like
Pizza.
Billy
Fair
Madison.
enough.
at the
it's
end.
mostly a yes or no.
But
I
everyone's
think.
hungry, I feel like, right?
No, I want pizza.
Yeah.
We're gonna. I think
Nah.
big things are happening.
Yeah. All right. Oh, that's exciting.
Song number 2. We'll go same order. Miss Sydney Wright, writer, performer of the song "Dead to Rights." Tell me a little bit about that song. Sounds biographical a little bit.
Dead to rights.
Yeah.
Dead to rights.
Spelled with a W. The rights part. Not the dead. It's not a silent W in dead. Dead to rights. These are the easy ones.
Oh boy.
Oh man.
It would probably be some kind of slideshow of my ancestors. And then this keeps coming back to family. Oh, and then me and my sisters do in harmony old hymns that are just an ode to all the people in our family that have died. This got serious. I'm just flowing, you know. And then I don't know. I guess I would just post it on YouTube. I don't know. It's just a project.
Yeah,
it's
I like.
in the works.
Well, what I'm very. Yeah.
The
Thank you
wheels
for
are
sharing.
turning.
That was
I mean,
fucking
thanks for
great.
sharing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. No, that's great. That's like. I mean, it is. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
that was better than I was
It's better than
expecting.
I could have thought. Yeah.
That was
No,
pretty
thank
great.
you. Like, okay, you, Brian.
Well, I think with the Halloween theme of the show so far, we have like zombies. It's a song about zombies. you know, and you're leading the zombies. You know, you're commanding the zombie army to do your bidding.
How do you hear the chorus on that one going?
Well, this is why I make the big bucks, so I got to think of something here. I'll let Brett answer, and then I'll try to come up with a hook. Yeah.
All right, Brett. Dead to Rights. The chorus of Dead to Rights.
The chorus from Dead. Oh fuck! So I gotta do the chorus.
All right. Do we need a beat?
Oh, he's doing the chorus.
Am I doing the chorus or no?
I was thinking you were going to do your idea, and then
okay.
Either way.
Listen,
if you
we're
have
in
one.
a competitive environment. Whoever comes up with the chorus of Dead to Rights gets it.
I've got one.
That's the way we are.
I've got one if you guys are ready.
All right.
Yeah. That'll give me more time to think.
I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never going to keep me down.
Yeah, that's.
Oh my, that is gold. Did somebody writing this down?
Damn.
Take note.
Off the top.
Yeah. Boom. I'm sorry, John Boy. I didn't mean to steal
Johnny boy.
That's hilarious.
I get knocked down.
I think we should just move on, I guess.
Yeah, that's probably a pretty good idea.
You're making it really hard to keep going, Brian.
I'm so sorry.
No, that's great. Unless you have something for Dead to Rights. Brett, did you have anything?
No.
I'll cut that out then. Good. I won't ask it. I don't want that. That's terrible content.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking about Lost Boys. Did you guys ever see Lost Boys?
All right, yes.
I love Lost Boys so hard, yes.
It just made me think.
Brett comes back.
All I need is a couple Corys in my life. Vampires, a Cory, and you've got your Dead to Rights song right there. Yep.
I like it.
Yeah.
Short, sweet.
Sweet.
We can all visualize it.
Yeah, if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about.
Song number 3, Sydney Wright. The game name, TM. Here we go. Get this song. Get this song out of your head, huh? 2 wrongs make a right. Huh? How about that?
That's a twist?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's almost
2
as twisty
wrongs
as
make a right.
You Can Stay. Yeah.
Lasers.
That's probably an album title right there.
Yeah, it's going to be like a concept album about this Sex and the City episode that I watched one time where it was like Samantha could not choose between 2 men that she was dating.
Okay.
And this is...
I hate the fact that I know this. Is this...
I've dug a hole. I can't remember the rest of the episode.
Let me see if I can fill it in.
Please.
Let me see if I can fill it in. Is one of them a remodels like apartments, or he does like...
One of them's like super like blue collar, isn't it? And
Yeah.
then the other one is like contrasting in some way, which it's like...
business, high dollar businessman.
But then there's something sexual about both of them that like she can't decide between. Obviously, it's Sex and the City.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's been years. But anyway, that's what it would be about Sex and the City.
Do you remember who your favorite was? Like,
I was a cross between... oh my god.
you were? What are you? I mean,
The
what about right
redheaded
now?
one. Not Charlotte, not Samantha, not Carrie. Who was the other
I
one?
can't remember.
Samantha.
That and Carrie. Of course, everybody was Carrie.
The redhead,
know.
I know who you're talking about, but I just don't remember her name.
I'll fact check that. Somebody else go. I'll shout it out.
Those are facts.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a fan of redheads.
So, Brian, 2 wrongs make a right. Are you so 2 wrongs? So it's like basically about like picking between 2 guys that you might like, maybe not, or maybe like if you can combine them both together, it'd be Mr. Right. You could change his name to Mr. Right with a W.
Oh.
Are we
Mr.
gonna
Right.
have
That's
a
a new album.
songwriting session
Wait,
right
is
now?
This, is this
Yeah,
the
this
fucking
is
album now?
happening
This
right
is
Mr. Right. Mr. Right. That's the
That's
album.
was
That's
the,
it.
like the best
That's it.
idea. Can you
Yeah,
like?
yeah.
I
It's
need
recorded.
that.
Yeah, it's
Mr.
recorded.
Right.
Yeah.
Documented.
Mr. Right.
Mr.
You're trying to make Mr. Right. That's a concept album right there.
Mr. Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's
That'll be $7,000.
Matt's
not cheap.
Yeah.
Cynthia Nixon, Miranda.
Miranda. Yeah.
Oh, good.
Miranda.
Yeah.
I was
Good
very
one.
much. I've been very much Miranda.
Brian. 2 wrongs make a right.
I'm trying to think of something good for this one.
Brett, do you have
Don't
anything?
make her right.
2 wrongs make a right.
Make her right.
The idea is supposed to be like pseudo, like bad, you know? It's like 2 wrongs make a right.
Yeah.
Like, and you'd be on the cover like,
I feel like a vigilante
all right.
kind of story comes out of this,
All right.
where you're some kind of taking law into your own hands.
Oh my gosh, can it be set in the Old West?
It could be.
Okay.
6-shooters,
Ooh, is it a crooked?
cool hats, and horses.
No doubt. And I want to be on the Comanche side. Can I just do that? I
We're
want to be.
scalping
Oh my gosh.
motherfuckers. Just
Okay, so here's my story. I was born in the woodlands of East Texas. Our family has a commune-like thing because that's normal because we're in the wild in West. I bleeped that. Did you see
Holy
that?
shit! You
And
just bleeped it by
so
yourself.
my,
you do that?
our camp gets totally bombarded by all these savage. Oh, that was so racist.
You shouldn't have said savage.
I
You should
know
have
all
bleeped
these.
that.
I mean, but like, let's talk about it. They were scalping people. They were knives and guns and killing. Like that sounds pretty fucking. Oh, damn it!
beep.
Beep. That sounds pretty savage to me. But okay, so I get kidnapped. All of my family's killed. They kidnap me. I'm only 9 years old, so they take me into the Comanche tribe, and I'm assimilated.
Wait, what is going on?
I'm assimilated now. Now I'm a Comanche. Now I'm 15 years old, and
She's
I don't
doing
even
a bit.
remember how to
She's doing a
speak
bit.
English.
Yeah.
Okay? I don't even remember how to speak English because this is my home now. This is my fam. I know I'm different because everybody, like, you know, makes fun of me and stuff, but it's okay. This is my
You look
family now.
different, yeah.
I grow up. I'm like 30 years old. I married this chief because I'm a queen. But I marry this chief, and we have children, and I had this whole life because I'm a Comanche, but I'm a white person. Then the troops come in, and they kill all of the Comanches. My family's dead again. And then they kidnap me back because I'm white, and they
Teach you English.
teach me English and try to get me to assimilate back into the culture, but instead I am super depressed because like my life has been devastated not once but twice, and I'm taken into this custody of strangers and expected to assimilate into this weird culture, and that is the story of Cynthia Ann Parker. And then she starved herself to death. That got dark.
That song's about right privilege.
That was 2 wrongs. Don't make it right. That's your.
Oh
that's it.
my
That's it.
Oh man,
Yes.
That was so fire.
dude, that was really good.
You just like dragging that out.
Strike 3.
Oh my god.
Next question.
Brian is killing it today. I knew he knew.
Oh man, that's incredible.
Thank you for letting me go on
Yeah,
that
we're gonna
tangent.
cut that
was a long
out.
time.
You can't.
Great.
Yeah. That was
Yeah,
fine,
it's probably a hot button
That was a
topic these
monologue.
days. Yeah.
That is like, I think Kevin Costner could direct that, you know, or Disney. One of those. It depends on how crazy you want to go with it. But yeah, that's a.
Oh, but Cynthia Ann Parker is the mother of Quanah Parker, who was the only chief of the Comanches because they were tribal, and so he was the only one that ever got them all together because by that time there were very few. I'm sorry, I'm done. History.
And this was history.
This could pretty much be drunk history at this point, almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, song number 4. I was right when I left.
Well, that's just a song now.
Right? Yeah, probably.
This is great content,
Yeah, yeah.
actually.
That's
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm getting a piece of this.
It sounds like a breakup song. That's my specialty.
2%. Yeah. Oh yeah. Breakup songs. That, like, oh, you're like telling them. Yeah, you switch around.
Was right when I left. That's good. It reminds me of another.
This isn't a breakup song. No, it's a breakup song.
Right on Red.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. That's probably better.
It
Yeah.
was right when I left.
You. I was
got
right when I
nothing,
left
really.
you. When I left you.
I
Or
was
is it
right
without
when I
without the
left
you?
you.
It's like you were just being yourself when you left. You know. Yeah. Brian's got it.
Yeah, I'm there. I'm right there.
What else you got there?
Well, I think this is a song about Kevin Durant leaving OKC. I think going to
Thank
Golden
God.
State and really letting down the city. But, you know, he won the championship, so he was right when he left.
Mm.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well
See what I'm
done.
doing? Yeah.
Yeah. I like it. Factual. That's what people like in their music. Facts.
Yes.
Brett, you feeling anything?
No.
Ever leave anybody that you realize it was right? later?
No.
No.
That I was right later?
Yeah.
You usually don't leave them if it was right.
Oh, you get left.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can think all I
That's
think of
probably
is like a hook. It's like I was right. I was right when I left you. I was right.
You're like this is so
nope.
dumb.
I'm in.
You could think about
I was
back.
right.
Oh,
I was right when I left you.
there you go. Much better than what I was doing.
So right when I left. I was right.
I was right
I was right when I left you.
when I left you.
I was right.
I was
so
right.
I was right
when I left
you.
when I left you.
We be turning,
I was right.
turning,
I was right when I left you.
to the right, to the left, to the right. Be turning,
I was right. I was right when I left you.
This is like a little bit like the Shirelles almost. Like I love this like boy band vibe, but like also doo-woppy.
Doo-wop as fuck.
That's good.
Somebody.
Yeah.
That's a good jam.
It's
That's a
fucking
good
stuck
jam.
in my head all day.
happy.
Yeah.
That one slayed me.
Somebody.
Slayed me.
Wow, bro, that was insane,
Yeah.
but wrong.
Yeah.
-2.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, that was
Brett's losing
Man,
this.
correct.
I'm terrible at this game.
Did your best.
Yeah.
Man.
All right.
I should have lost that one. I had no answer. I was just like blank. No say.
All right, the last one. If being Sydney is wrong, I gotta be right. Right? That's
That's pretty
maybe
good.
It's a T-shirt. I don't know.
If
It's a
being
hashtag.
Sydney is
Like, get the
wrong, I
tweens to
gotta
send
be
it out.
right. Actually, I think it's a pretty cool tweet. I could twit it.
Yeah. Like I gotta be right.
Twit it.
Twit it.
I'm gonna tweet my
Twit
twit.
that shit.
I'm gonna
Twit that shit.
twat it. I'm gonna twit it.
And then
twat.
I'll take a screenshot, so it'll be screenshot. Sorry. Back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. Oh,
Back to life. Back to reality. Back to life.
Live.
Back to reality. Yeah, man.
A lot of this cool
Yeah,
shit
there's a
going
lot of
on.
stuff going on.
Back to reality.
So what would it be then? I kind
Well,
of.
I've been thinking.
All right. Or can we
Yeah.
move?
Incorrect, Brett. That is
Damn.
-3.
Damn.
You have -3 points. It is like you're really bad at this game. I thought we talked about it earlier. Yeah, you did not get it. Yeah.
Wait, say the name of it again. I've already forgotten.
The
which
game
one
name?
we're on. No,
Oh.
No, the last question. That last
last-
question.
Question number 5.
The game name. What? The game name?
Yeah.
game name TM.
He was super
Oh, no,
happy
the
about
name-
that.
Oh yeah, the game name. Yeah.
Game name.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you had it.
TM.
If being Sydney is wrong, I gotta be right.
It would be a
What direction
whole
are you even thinking of?
compilation
Like,
of me taking. I'm apparently really into film. It would be a compilation of me wearing my GoPro on my bike helmet, riding through town, breaking every bike law that is in the state of Texas, and that's the name of it.
Be riding on
pretty
the
good.
sidewalk.
That's pretty good.
You'd be blowing through
Exactly.
lights. Yeah.
That's
You know-
pretty
Fuck
good,
yeah,
actually, yeah.
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 Let's talk about your plugs.
The 13th, I'm gonna be DJing that
Yeah.
gig. Actually, I'm getting on my calendar. I don't know what my calendar is. The 1st and the 15th, I'm at Collide from 2 to 5. The 4th and the 18th, I'm at Rhino Room. And honestly, my calendar is on my website, sydneywrightmusic.com.
Easy enough.
Thanks for having me. This was really fun.
Goodbye.
Somebody,
Goodbye.
somebody.
Somebody, 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 somebody,
Me, somebody to love.
somebody.
Me, somebody to love.
Somebody.
Me.
Find me
Love
Somebody.